Welcome to all of you. In last lecture, we discussed about the introduction to the database management system. What is the database management system? What is database? After all, we discuss about the basic concept of that database. Okay. Now we also consider some examples of database management system. That is in case of the banking, airline, universities, sales, manufacturing, human resources, etc. Accordingly, we consider that database management system, how data will be stored in that particular databases, or how we can access the particular database using the corresponding applications. Now, second thing is nothing but to handle the data. We consider one type of a system, that is nothing but the file system. Generally, we focus on, or we most of time we can use files to store the data, and in that files we can consider some basic terms related to that of the files. First of all, we consider the records. What is the record? That is, we define the record as it is a collection of related fields. Then here we also consider the example about the student information like roll number, name, address, contact number, etc. These are interrelated fields which are stored in the form of records in a given file, and we can give a specific name to that file. Okay, if we identify the records corresponding to that of the student, we see the file according to the name of that file. That is nothing but the file name will be given to that student information. Now, second thing, we consider the file system. What is the actual file system? That is, we consider here structure and logic rules used to manage file group of informations and their names, which is also called as the file system. Okay. Now, after that, we consider the file. That is, according to the basic concept, data, records, or file system, we define the file. Now, it is the collection of related sequence of records. That is, more than one records will be stored into the single file. This is the file system. Now, after that, we start about the types of files. That is, today we discuss about two different types of a file. First one is nothing but the logical file, and second thing or second type of a file is called as the physical file. Now, what is actually logical file and what is the physical file? We define the logical file, that is, it is a view, this type of file, view in terms of what atom a record contains, and that processing operations may be performed on the given file. Actually, we open the particular file, which is nothing but the logical file. Everything which is shown in our computer, it is not logical. We want the particular logical file, we consider or we need to open that file. Okay. Now, second form of the file is nothing but the physical file. Now, it is the file view in terms of how the data is stored on the storage device. Actually, physical file is stored on our secondary storage device. Now, it is nothing but the presence of that file. It does not perform any operations, or we can't perform any operations on this type of physical file. If you want to perform the operations on the physical file, we want to perform the operations on that particular file. That is, operations contains creating a file, opening a file, find, read, write, close, etc. Those operations can be performed on the particular file. For that purpose, we require to consider the logical file corresponding to that of the physical file. File same राहणार आहे, बरोबर. Physical file म्हणजे त्या फाईलचं presence on a given secondary storage. Okay. If we open that physical file, we open the particular file, it is loaded into the main memory, and then this file is open, or it shows the content which are stored into the given file. त्या फाईल मध्ये काय कंटेंट स्टोर्ड आहेत, कशा पद्धतीने ते कंटेंट स्टोर केलेले ते काय केले जातात, युजरला त्या ठिकाणी व्ह्यू केले जातात किंवा त्या ठिकाणी शो केले जातात. अँड इफ वी कॅन ओपन द फाईल, or if our file is comes in main memory and it is converted in the form of logical file, or we can say that file which is present in the main memory in the open form, which is called as the logical file. Okay. When we consider the logical file, then our operations will be takes place. That is, we can find some record in the given file, we can read the content from the file, or we can write some content into that file, we can perform the modification into that particular file. These operations will be performed on the logical file. We can't perform any operation in case of a physical file. Actually, एकच फाईल आहे, ती फाईल जेव्हा क्लोज असते किंवा ती फक्त स्टोरेज फॉर्मॅट मध्ये असते, सेकंडरी स्टोरेज वरती आपल्याला बघायला मिळते, ती झालं त्याचं फिजिकल प्रेझेन्स ऑफ दॅट पर्टिक्युलर फाईल. आणि जेव्हा ती फाईल ओपन होते, ती ओपन होण्यासाठी ती मेमरीला लोड होते. मेमरीला लोड झाल्यानंतर त्या ठिकाणी त्या फाईलवरचे ऑपरेशन्स काय होतात त्या ठिकाणी स्टार्ट होतात किंवा आपण ते ऑपरेशन्स परफॉर्म करू शकतो. दॅट इज नथिंग बट अवर लॉजिकल फाईल इन द computer system. Okay, these are nothing but two types of the files which is used in our file system. Now next thing is nothing but the file organization. We discuss the file, we consider two types of the file, but how that files are managed in a computer system, that is management of that particular file is considered as a file organization. Now it is the method of arranging the record in the given file. We create a particular file and we store some record into the given file, but in which manner, in what way we can store that particular record in the given file, such an arrangement of records, and we consider the methods corresponding to that of the arrangement of record in the file, we called it as a file organization. Now here we can consider the physical arrangement of the data in the file into records on the disk is known as the file organization. Now the some common file organization methods will be explained here. That is, first of all, we consider the file organization, that is nothing but the heap file organization. Now what is actually heap file organization, or how such a files are organized in our computer system? Heap file organization, which is also called as unordered set of records, that is, we arrange the record in the file in unordered format. Okay, now it is also called as the peel file or a serial file or unsorted file. Serial file in the sense that is the records are added into the given file when they are inserted. Okay, ज्या पद्धतीने रेकॉर्ड इन्सर्ट होत जातील त्या पद्धतीने ते त्या फाईल मध्ये काय केले जातात, ऍड केले जातात किंवा त्यामध्ये अरेंज केले जातात. नाउ हियर वी कॅन सी द एक्झाम्पल ऑफ दॅट पर्टिक्युलर heap file organization. We can see this particular figure, that is here data record. Here we can see the data block in the memory. Actually this organization can take place in the memory. Now in last lecture we also discussed about that how file is stored in the secondary storage or in the particular memory. That is, we consider the bit sequence, or we consider the file is stored in the form of bits in that particular secondary disk. Okay, disk does not allow to store such character as it is. These characters are converted in the form of bits, and that bit sequence is stored in the given secondary disk. Okay, now in this case here we consider this particular block of the memory and how that records of heap file are arranged. We can see this is a record 1, record 3, record 6, record 4, record 5. There is no proper order of the record can be given here. That is, first record is occurred, that is R1 is firstly inserted. Now it is added into that particular block. The block is given to that R1 record is 631, 37. Then next time or second time we can insert the record 3. R3 will be inserted and it is stored at the location 273, which is given in the block 2. Okay, this is the memory block, and we insert the record in this particular sequence. There is no proper order of the record is given here. If we want to insert record R2, now it is inserted after R5. Okay, ते कितव्या नंबर मध्ये येतंय? सपोज आधी हे 5 रेकॉर्ड ऑलरेडी स्टोर्ड आहेत, आणखी एक रेकॉर्ड आपण स्टोर करायला गेलो. नवीन रेकॉर्ड या ठिकाणी बघा सेकंड फिगर मध्ये नवीन रेकॉर्ड R2 आपण स्टोर करतोय. इट इज ऍडेड आफ्टर R5. Okay, or we can have some other records and new record will be inserted at this position. It has a block, data block 1, and the memory address is given to that 538, that is 538, which is the memory address for that record R2. Okay, this is nothing but the unordered file or peel file, or in other words, in we can say the serial file. Serial file in the sense that is which series or in which order records are comes, according to that series record are inserted into the file. That is nothing but the heap file. Now second thing is nothing but the sorted file. The heap file is unordered, unsorted. Okay, sorted file, it is nothing but the record are sorted according to the order of a particular field or a record called as ordering field. आपण जे रेकॉर्ड फाईल मध्ये इन्सर्ट करतो त्या रेकॉर्ड मध्ये एक फील्ड अशी कन्सिडर केली जाते, त्या फील्डच्या ऑर्डर नुसार त्या ठिकाणी ते रेकॉर्ड काय केले जातील, स्टोर केले जातील. दॅट इज नथिंग बट द सॉर्टेड फाईल. नाउ वी कन्सिडर द एक्झाम्पल ऑफ स्टुडंट इन्फॉर्मेशन. ओके, in that student information we consider roll number as a record field. Roll number are given to the student in sequential order, start with 1 2 3 4 like this. Okay, The record for roll number 1 is stored in the first row. Record of roll number 2 stored in the second row. Record for the roll number 3 stored in the third row. According to this roll number, our records are in ordered form. Here it is also called as the sequential file. Sequential file in the sense, according to the record field or according to the ordering field, record are stored sequentially into the given file. Okay, now it maintains the record in the logical sequence. Every record is identified uniquely according to the ordering field. In other words, that ordering field is also called as the key field. Okay, की फील्ड का म्हणायचंय कारण ती युनिक असणार आहे. त्या फाईलमध्ये वन रोल नंबरचं दुसरा रेकॉर्ड त्या फील्ड मध्ये नसणार आहे किंवा त्या पर्टिक्युलर फाईल मध्ये स्टोर होणार नाही. मग त्या ऑर्डर्ड फील्ड नुसार ते रेकॉर्ड्स काय होणार आहे, सॉर्टेड फाईल मध्ये स्टोर केले जातील. आता जर सपोज आपण रेकॉर्ड इन्सर्ट करताना तिथे जी ऑर्डर आहे, मी वन रोल नंबरचं रेकॉर्ड पहिले मी इन्सर्ट केलंय आणि सेकंड टाइम मी काय केलंय, 4 रोल नंबर असलेला रेकॉर्ड इन्सर्ट करतोय and next time we insert the record of roll number 2. Now here sequence of inserting order is nothing but 1 4 2, but record are arranged according to the roll number, that is they are automatically sorted like 1 2 4. insertion ची ऑर्डर मात्र आपली 1 4 2 अशी होती, परंतु ती सॉर्टेड फाईल ऑर्गनायझेशन ही जी मेथड आहे, ह्या मेथड मध्ये ती ऑर्डर चेंज केली जाते, रेकॉर्डची सिक्वेन्स चेंज केली जाते. ती सिक्वेन्स ऑर्डरिंग फील्डच्या सिक्वेन्स नुसार किंवा ऑर्डरिंग फील्डच्या ऑर्डर नुसार काय केली जाईल, त्या ठिकाणी इन्सर्ट केली जाईल. दॅट इज नथिंग बट द ऑर्डरिंग और सॉर्टेड फाईल ऑर्गनायझेशन. नाउ दिस सॉर्टेड फाईल ऑर्गनायझेशन हॅव सम ऍडव्हान्टेजेस अँड some of the disadvantages. Now in this case, when we consider the advantages of sorted file organization, the sequential file can be created on any device with easy and simple way. आपण कुठल्याही डिव्हाइस वरती ती फाईल काय करू शकतो, इझिली त्या ठिकाणी क्रिएट करू शकतो. सेकंड थिंग इज नथिंग बट दॅट इज द इनपुट आउटपुट मीडिया अँड डिव्हाइसेस यूज इन दिस टाइप ऑफ फाईल ऑर्गनायझेशन आर inexpensive. Okay, and third advantage is given that is the average processing speed of this file organization is high because a record is sorted ordered. If you want to search a particular record, then we can use a specific algorithm to search the given record, and with the help of that algorithm we can access the given record very easily, and every record is unique. When we consider unsorted file, record or ordering field is not given to that particular file, that is duplications are available in heap file. Okay, now here sorted file can have some disadvantages also, that is the entire file must be processed to read only one record. Why this is? Because we have the sequence of the record, we identify the particular record, we need to search first few records. सपोज मी 100 स्टुडंटची इन्फॉर्मेशन त्या फाईल मध्ये स्टोर केलेली आहे आणि मला 100 नंबरचं रेकॉर्ड काय करायचं, ऍक्सेस करायचं. बिकॉज ऑफ द सिक्वेन्शियल ऍक्सेस वी कॅन access or we can read the first 99 record and then we can access the 100th record from the given file. Okay, that is the main drawback of this particular sorted file. Now this file system, the data redundancy is usually high. Redundancy in the sense that is, so according we can accept the ordering field, we can have some other fields they are redundant, that is repetition will be comes more than once. सपोज 100 स्टुडंट्स आहेत, 100 स्टुडंट्स मधले 50 स्टुडंट्स एका कॉलेजमधनं आहेत आणि राहिलेले 50 स्टुडंट्स हे दुसऱ्या कॉलेजमधनं असतील. आणि जर आपण त्या स्टुडंटचे कॉलेजचे नेम त्या फाईलमध्ये स्टोर करायचं ठरवलं तर कॉलेज नेम नुसार त्या ठिकाणी 50 टाइम्स ते कॉलेज नेम पहिल्या 50 स्टुडंटला काय होणार आहे, रिपीट होणार आहे. दॅट इज द रिडंडन्सी which is occurred in that particular sorted file organization. Okay, now next thing is nothing but next type of the file organization is nothing but the index file organization. In the index file organization, data is arranged according to the index. Okay, here different index were created and according to that particular index locations the file will be stored or the record will be stored into the given file. Now in this case, index file organization determining the storage location is separate operation from accessing the record. Where we want to store the record, according to that location will be calculated or a different location will be determined and that location is used to store the given record. Okay, We access the record accordingly. We can consider the particular algorithm, and using the index we can access that particular record from the file. In this type of file organization, row are sorted either sequentially or non-sequentially, and an index is created that allows the application software to locate the individual row. When we insert the particular row, we can see this particular figure. We insert a row in the given file, the corresponding index will be created. Now this is the index, this is the value for the index, and this value is available at this particular memory block. And this memory block, this index contains number of records. ही जी इंडेक्स तुम्हाला इथे बघायला मिळते, सपोज मी R1 ची इंडेक्स कन्सिडर केली, दिस R1 इंडेक्स हॅज सम रेकॉर्ड्स. नाउ इट इज नॉट अ सिंगल रेकॉर्ड, इथे फक्त एकच रेकॉर्ड प्रेझेंट असेल असं नाही, त्याच्या करस्पॉन्डिंग मल्टिपल रेकॉर्ड्स काय असतील एका इंडेक्सला त्या ठिकाणी स्टोअर केले जातात. म्हणजे या ठिकाणी आता इथे शो करताना इंडिव्हिज्युअली त्या ठिकाणी शो केलेलं आहे, प्रत्येक रेकॉर्डच्या करस्पॉन्डिंग एक सेपरेट इंडेक्स त्या ठिकाणी तयार केली आणि त्यानुसार ते रेकॉर्ड काय केले त्या ठिकाणी स्टोअर केले. मग फाईल मध्ये जेव्हा रेकॉर्ड इन्सर्ट होतंय त्यावेळेस त्या रेकॉर्डच्या करस्पॉन्डिंग ब्लॉक वरती कुठली इंडेक्स फाइंड आउट होते किंवा कुठली इंडेक्स क्रिएट होते, ती इंडेक्स काय केली जाते त्या रेकॉर्डच्या पुढे त्या ठिकाणी मेंटेन केली जाते. आणि जर एखाद्या रेकॉर्ड आयडेंटिफाय करायचं असेल तर रेकॉर्ड नुसार ती इन्फॉर्मेशन फाइंड आउट होत नाही, तर त्या रेकॉर्डच्या करस्पॉन्डिंग इंडेक्स व्हॅल्यू फाइंड आउट होते आणि ती इंडेक्स त्या ब्लॉक वरती मेमरी ब्लॉक वरती कुठे स्टोअर आहे त्यानुसार ती इंडेक्स व्हॅल्यू सर्च होईल आणि तिथनं काय डेटा स्टोअर झालेला आहे तो डेटा काय केला जाईल नंतर रिट्राइव्ह केला जाईल. नाउ दॅट इज नथिंग बट द इंडेक्स फाइल ऑर्गनायझेशन. नाउ इन दिस केस हियर in this type of file organization, row are sorted either sequentially or non-sequentially, and index is created that allows the application software to locate the individual row. आपण जे ऍप्लिकेशन सॉफ्टवेअर त्या ठिकाणी यूज करणार आहोत त्या ऍप्लिकेशन सॉफ्टवेअरला काय केलं जातं, इंडेक्स पास केली जाते आणि त्या इंडेक्स नुसार ते ऍप्लिकेशन सॉफ्टवेअर काय करेल ते पर्टिक्युलर रो, ती इंडिव्हिज्युअल रो त्या इंडेक्स व्हॅल्यू वरनं किंवा इंडेक्स लोकेशन वरनं फेच करेल. नाउ इन दिस केस सिक्वेन्शियल फाईल दॅट इज इंडेक्स इज कॉल्ड ॲज द इंडेक्स सिक्वेन्शियल फाईल. बऱ्याचशा सिक्वेन्शियल फाईल मध्ये पण या ठिकाणी काय केलं जातात, इंडेक्सेस क्रिएट केले जातात. म्हणून सिक्वेन्शियल फाईलला पण बऱ्याच वेळा काय म्हटलं जातं, इंडेक्स सिक्वेन्शियल फाईल म्हटलं जातं. नाउ इट हॅज ऑल्सो सम डिसएडवांटेजेस अँड सम एडवांटेजेस कॅन बी गिवन देअर. The advantage for this index file organization is nothing but there is no need to sort the transaction before updating. Okay, फाईल अपडेट करण्या अगोदर आपल्याला त्या ठिकाणी कुठल्याही प्रकारचे ट्रान्झॅक्शन्स किंवा कुठल्याही प्रकारचे रेकॉर्ड सॉर्ट करण्याची गरज पडत नाही. ते ऑटोमॅटिकली काय केले जातात त्या इंडेक्स नुसार त्या ठिकाणी अरेंज केले जातात. नाउ वी कॅन सी दिस रेकॉर्ड्स आर नॉट गिवन इन द प्रॉपर ऑर्डर फ्रॉम in sorted order or in sorted file organization. The records R1, R2, R3 like this way records can be stored in the sorted manner. In index file organization, records are not considered in the sorted manner. According to the index value, we can consider that particular representation of the record. इथे जरी तुम्हाला अनसॉर्टेड डेटा दिसतोय किंवा रेकॉर्ड अनसॉर्टेड दिसतात, परंतु ह्या इंडेक्स व्हॅल्यू वरनं ते रेकॉर्ड त्या ठिकाणी प्रॉपरली काय केलेले असतात, अरेंज केलेले असतात. नाउ देयर इज नो नीड टू सॉर्ट देम इन सॉर्टेड ऑर्डर फॉर द accessing the given records. Okay, next thing is nothing but in index organization it is possible to link the record of two files. आपण दोन वेगवेगळ्या फाईल वरचं रेकॉर्ड एका ठिकाणी काय करू शकतो, ह्या एका इंडेक्सनी लिंक करू शकतो. हाऊ इट इज पॉसिबल? इफ वी कन्सिडर R1 in the one file having the same information, we can consider second file which contains the same information but record will be considered as R2. We can give the same index value at both file. दोन्ही फाईल मध्ये काय करणार तुम्ही, त्या सेम इन्फॉर्मेशनच्या करस्पॉन्डिंग इंडेक्स व्हॅल्यू काय करणार, एकच देणार. माझी स्टुडंट 1 एक फाईल आहे, स्टुडंट 2 नावाची दुसरी फाईल आहे. ओके, मी स्टुडंट 1 मधला रोल नंबर 1 ज्याचा आहे त्याच्यासाठी मी काय केलं, या ठिकाणी एक इंडेक्स फाईल बनवली किंवा एक इंडेक्स क्रिएट केली आणि सेम इन्फॉर्मेशन माझी दुसऱ्या फाईल मध्ये स्टोअर्ड आहे त्याच स्टुडंटच्या करस्पॉन्डिंग. ओके, मग इन्फॉर्मेशन तर कॉमन आहे. वी कॅन क्रिएट द सेम इंडेक्स फॉर बोथ फाईल, सेम इन्फॉर्मेशन. दोन्ही फाईल मध्ये सारखी इन्फॉर्मेशन असलेल्या रेकॉर्डसाठी एकच इंडेक्स व्हॅल्यू तयार केली जाईल आणि ती एक इंडेक्स व्हॅल्यू वरनं आपण दोन फाईल वरची इन्फॉर्मेशन काय करू शकतो, ऍक्सेस करू शकतो. ओके, नाउ नेक्स्ट थिंग इज नथिंग बट that is comparing with the other file organization. Here it is easy to update the file. Okay, file will be updated easily with the help of this particular index. Then index file organization is flexible in report of sequential and random or direct processing of the file. Okay, it is the simple way to access the particular file. We easily manage the record with the help of these particular indexes. Direct accessing is not possible in case of this index file. First of all, we need to access the index, and when we get the index, then we can access the corresponding record of that index. Okay, in this way we can consider the advantages of that index file organization. Now similarly we can have some disadvantages also, that is additional space is required for the storage of this particular index of each record. Okay, additional space requirement आहे ही index value store करण्यासाठी. त्यानंतर file in this particular organization must stored on a direct access storage device, hence it is expensive. आपल्याला हे जे रेकॉर्ड्स आहेत हे डायरेक्ट ऍक्सेस डिव्हाइसेस जे असतील त्या डिव्हाइसेस वरती ह्या फाइल्स काय कराव्या लागतात, स्टोअर कराव्या लागतात, जेणेकरून ह्या इंडेक्स लोकेशन्स त्या ठिकाणी काय होतील, प्रॉपरली मॅनेज केले जातील. दॅट इज द इंडेक्स फाइल organization. Now next thing is nothing but the hash file organization. In this hash file organization we can use one or in other words we consider this file as a random files. That is we can access the record from the file randomly. Okay, जी व्हॅल्यू पाहिजे ती रॅन्डमली काय करायची, आपल्याला ऍक्सेस करायची. नाउ सच फाइल आर ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज द हॅश फाइल और रैंडम फाइल्स which store the record that are stored and retrieved according to either their disk address or their relative position within the file. मला जर या ठिकाणी 5 नंबरचा रेकॉर्ड ऍक्सेप्ट करायचं किंवा 5 नंबरची जे काही रोल नंबर असेल ते रोल नंबरचा रेकॉर्ड जर मला ऍक्सेस करायचं असेल तर त्याची पोझिशन आपल्याला त्या ठिकाणी पहिले माहित असणं पाहिजे किंवा त्याचं करस्पॉन्डिंग मेमरी ऍड्रेस काय आहे तो पहिले आपल्याला फाइंड आउट असणं गरजेचं आहे. जर तो मेमरी ऍड्रेस अवेलेबल असेल देन वी कॅन इझिली ऍक्सेस दॅट रेकॉर्ड directly. Okay, now we can consider or we can find out such a memory addresses of a record. For that purpose we can use one function. That function is called as the hash function, and here we can see this hash function, that is h of k hash function. K is the key field, that is we can that is program to store and or retrieve the record has first to specify the address of the record of that file. आपल्याला जर एखादा रेकॉर्ड स्टोअर करायचं असेल तर आपल्याला आधी त्याचा ऍड्रेस फाइंड आउट करावा लागतो, ते रेकॉर्ड कुठे स्टोअर होणार आहे. तो ऍड्रेस फाइंड आउट झाल्यानंतर आपण त्या ऍड्रेसला ते रेकॉर्ड त्या ठिकाणी काय केलं जातं, हॅश फाइल ऑर्गनायझेशन मध्ये स्टोअर केलं जातं. तसं आधीच्या फाईलमध्ये तसं नव्हतं. आधीच्या फाईलमध्ये जी मेमरी त्या ठिकाणी अवेलेबल असते किंवा पुढची सिक्वेन्स मध्ये जे काही ब्लॉक तिथे अवेलेबल असेल तो ब्लॉक रिट्राय करून इमिजिएटली डेटा तिथे स्टोअर होत होता. बट इन केस ऑफ फाइल हॅश फाइल ऑर्गनायझेशन, first we find out the proper position of that record and then we can store the given file or the given record at the given location. Now to identify such a memory addresses we consider this type of files use one function called as the hash function which is applied to a particular field in the given record. जसं स्टुडंटची इन्फॉर्मेशन साठी मी जर रोल नंबर कन्सिडर केले तर ती की फील्ड आपल्याला तिथे फाइंड कन्सिडर करावी लागते आणि त्या की फील्ड नुसार आपल्याला ते रेकॉर्ड्स त्या हॅश फाइल मध्ये काय करावं लागतात, इन्सर्ट करावं लागतात. अकॉर्डिंग टू द की फील्ड वी आयडेंटिफाय द रेकॉर्ड ऑफ we identify the location of that particular record and then we can insert at that location the given record. Now it has two types of the hashing. One is nothing but the internal hashing. Internal hashing in the sense when we consider the internal hashing at that time we consider for internal files hashing is particularly implemented through the use of an array of records. Here we can use array of records in case of the internal hashing. And when we consider the external hashing, in this case here we can consider disk files and the address space of a disk is divided into the buckets such that each of which holds a multiple records. Internal hashing will be considered, that is for the internal memory, that is we create the internal array addressing. Okay, and internally it can be identify the addresses and store the records. Okay, according to the given function. External hashing can be done according to the disk, secondary disk, and that disk is divided into the number of blocks. Okay, and each block can store more than one records. That is the external hashing. And internal hashing, internal hashing will be related to the main memory. External hashing is related to that of the data stored on the secondary disk, that is the secondary memory. Okay, now we can use this particular function, hash function. Here n represents the size of the given block. त्या ब्लॉकची मेमरी साईज किती आहे त्यानुसार ती यांची व्हॅल्यू घेतली जाते. सपोज मी जर 10 कन्सिडर केली, 10 ब्लॉक साईज जर कन्सिडर केली आणि इथे n तुम्हाला काय करावं लागेल, 10 कन्सिडर करावं लागेल. जर मला या ठिकाणी काय करायचंय, रेकॉर्ड नंबर 4 नंबरचं रेकॉर्ड मला स्टोअर करायचंय. 4 नंबर रोल नंबर आहे. मग की फील्ड मी रोल नंबर कन्सिडर केली. 4th रेकॉर्ड स्टोअर करायचं. 4 mod 10 आपल्याला काय मिळेल, 4 mod 10 mod रिटर्न्स द रिमाइंडर. वी गेट द रिमाइंडर व्हॅल्यू 4. ओके, 4 mod 10 म्हटलं तर रिमाइंडर व्हॅल्यू 4 मिळते मला. म्हणजे आपल्याला जो डेटा स्टोअर करायचा तो 4th लोकेशनला काय करायचं, 4 मेमरी ऍड्रेस लोकेशनला त्या ठिकाणी डेटा स्टोअर करायचा. ओके, like this way we can see this particular figure. Record are stored in this particular manner. The corresponding addresses first of all will be identified. Now new record is here, R2 will be stored. First of all, R2 identify the address HD5LE. This is the address location. It is identified with the help of this hash function, and then record will be inserted into that particular field. Okay, in this way we can consider different file organizations to store the particular file in the computer system. Okay, this is nothing but the types of file organization. That is, there are 4 types of the file organization. First of all, we discuss about the heap file organization. Second, we consider sorted file organization. Third is nothing but the index file organization, and fourth one is nothing but the hash file organization. Now we have the only introductory part about that of the file organization. Now, in other words, in other cases, we need to consider some differences between them. According to this introduction, we can consider the differences of that particular 4 different types of organizations. Okay, now we can conclude today's lecture at this particular point. We can end here.